ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणललितान् तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद एवरीवन कैन रेज योर हैंड्स। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोप कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमो पंकजनाभाय नमो पंकजमालिने नमो पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांगिरे। हरे कृष्णा। I hope all of you are doing well. So, as before starting the recording, as I was asking, my question to all of you is why? Why are we studying Bhagavad Gita? What is the purpose of studying Bhagavad Gita? Okay, Amit Prabhu is sharp and quickly trying to read through the notes and come back. No, no. Amit Prabhu remembers already. Yes, please go ahead, Amit Prabhu.
So as per remember, we have three kind of dukha, like
Hmm.
adya, sorry, um, what is the sorry.
That's fine, no problem. You can tell, you don't need to remember the names, but just tell me what the purpose is.
So it became so full of. I mean, we are full of this kind of three kind of dukha. So it became happy and it became like so that's the thing. We have to become happy. We have to study Bhagavad Gita.
We want to become happy. That is the thing.
I,
Okay.
yeah.
Anyone has any different opinion? Do you think Amit Prabhu was right? Okay, Meksham Prabhu is saying something and Ashok Keshar Chandra. So let's go to Meksham Prabhu, then we'll go to Ashok Keshar Chandra. And then finally we'll from the authority of Lokomon Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah. So I remember saying you were saying that Bhagavad Gita is like a manual book, like which comes like is like an instructions book for humankind. So it gives us directions, proper path, how to live a life as a human being, and like how to care about others. It gives us our purpose of life.
Okay, yes. As you were saying, Amit Prabhu was biting his nails. That okay, I missed this answer. Okay. How many of you agree that what Meksham Prabhu said is right? Anyone agrees? Yes. Lokoman Krishna Prabhu has said, okay, Nandini Priya Mataji, as you just joined, we have this question. why do we study Bhagavad Gita? So everyone is answering that, and I want you also to tell me like why do we study Bhagavad Gita? So let's hear next from Ashok Keshav Charan Prabhu. You have to unmute. Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita we are reading and we are practicing to achieve moksha,
To achieve moksha. Okay. Okay. Anyone
to
else?
our this Jnana Yog, Bhakti Yog.
Okay. How many of you agree with that? Meksham Prabhu agrees with that. Amit Prabhu, is that the agreement hand or is that for scratching the head? No, no, that was not the agreement hand. Nandini Priya Mataji agrees with that. Okay. Let's hear from Nandini Priya Mataji what she has to say.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Please don't tell me that, okay, I joined at the wrong time.
Yeah, like Bhagavad Gita, we read like because like it's an instruction given to us by Lord Krishna. It's a manual. Like as we get TV, we get a manual how to do. Like it's a manual for us to how to lead our life and solve our problems and like how to do every devotional service and like those all manual is in the Bhagavad Gita. It's given to us by Lord Krishna to follow it.
Okay. Okay. How many of you agree with what Nandini Priya Mataji said? All of you agree? Okay. Let's hear from Lokamohan Krishna Prabhu what he has to say.
Yeah, into Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna through the conversation with Arjuna, he has he has explained what is the purpose of human life and how the human life should be lived, how the human's life should be lived. It is just like others has told, it is like a manual. If we want to start a electronic machine or anything, we want to know from the manufacturer or who has created that how it is to be operated and maintained. Similarly, the entire world we are created by Sri Krishna, and while creation he has also through the Bhagavad Gita, he has given how this life should be lived, and that is why we read Tina Bhagavad Gita to learn that, to know that.
Okay. Thank you, Lokamohan Krishna Prabhu. Now, let us go and hear from what Srila Prabhupada is saying. So I will take you all right to the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. And from there, I want to share something. This is something that I've shared in the past, but I thought it is very, very important to recap the purpose. See, for purpose is fine. And thank you, Lokamohan Krishna Prabhu, thank you, Meksham Prabhu, Ashok Keshav Prabhu, Amit Prabhu, and Nandin Priya Mataji for sharing your views. But in this case, let us all evaluate where we are at and what Srila Prabhupada is saying. Okay. So that when we understand crystal clear, in a crystal clear way, what Srila Prabhupada's views are, we are trying to realign ourselves with that. Let's go and see. This is what Srila Prabhupada is saying right in the introduction, that the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is everyone is full of anxiety because of this material existence. How many of you agree with that? That there is full of anxiety at all point of time, and there is, in this state of anxiety, there are two things which are very proper subject for inquiry. What is that? Why am I suffering? Okay. After all, मैंने ऐसा किया क्या है कि मैं सफर कर रहा हूँ? Okay. And second is, what is the actual destination of life? We all want a good destination, right? I mean, Meksham Prabhu changed his location from Detroit to Houston because he wanted a better job destination. right? He wanted to land into a good job, so he moved into a new place, right? So similarly, like I moved to United States to get a good job, right? So it my company posted me here. So that's how I am here. Amit Prabhu came to US, like, okay, to get a better prospect here. Our Lokamohan Krishna Prabhu and Ashok Keshavcharan Prabhu, they also moved from their hometown to a different place in search of job. So we can understand that we all are moving, we are all looking for higher destination. So Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to answer these queries and make Arjun understand his position and to relieve him of all his miseries. And through Arjun, as Lokamohan Krishna was saying, through this conversation, okay, what is happening, and as Nandini Priya Mataji was also saying, that Krishna is trying to give this message to us. So let us go deeper in our understanding of what is this message. First of all, we have to understand these things, that there are animals and there is human beings, but animals eat, we also eat, right? Animals sleep, we also sleep. Animals mate, we also mate. Okay. And animals are defending, like, okay, if someone is attacking, then they are defending, we are also defending. But then question is like, okay, these are all common in animals and human being. Then where is the difference? Right? So if we see, if we look through this in this all animal uh, uh, geners that are there, animals also have rational power and intelligence. In some cases, animals are even better than human being. Let's take the example of a spider. See, think about the kind of cobweb that is weaves. It weaves and then it come kind of it takes once it has to open this, right? It takes entire thing and it annihilates everything in a very small way. If you see uh, the the eagle looks from a large distance like its prey which is in the lake, and it targets that. And some of these animals, like if you see cheetah is so fast, although it is physically running on its legs, but no one can beat cheetah. No one can beat elephant in terms of its strength. So they are very powerful. But let's see what happens on the human side. So there are so many material advancement. There are luxurious houses. And Meksham Prabhu, you might see so many luxurious houses in Houston nearby, right? And there are
Yes, Prabhu.
skyscraper buildings there are, okay, which are there. There are jet planes are there, mobile phones, and so many other things. Now so many apps, like, okay, so many, like every year there is new iPhone, this, that, Samsung, like, okay, you lose track of, like, so many things are coming out. But if human beings are just eating, sleeping, mating, and they're defending, then how different are they to the animals? This is a question that comes actually. Our scriptures are saying आहार निद्रा भयमैथुनं च सामान्य एतत् पशुभिः नराणां धर्मो हि तेषाम् अधिको विशेषो धर्मो हि तेषां पशुभिः समानाम्, which means that ahar nidra bhaya maithun, that means eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, animals are doing and humans are also doing. Okay, but if a human is only doing eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, then they are no different than an animal and they are just a two-legged animal. But one who gets interested in understanding, okay, the higher science, that means the spiritual science, then in that case, they are they are fulfilling the purpose of the human life. That's how it is. So let's see, like, okay, see, if you see animals, they inquire about eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That means, like, they care about eating, right? Like, okay, if you leave a milk in India, you will see the cat will come. right? If you give food, then dog will come, right? But if the animals, they would not inquire about life, death, and beyond that, but human beings can. They are interested in something superior than, you want a better quality of life, right? Why do you go from one place to another? Because you're looking for better quality of life. So similarly, like, okay, those who are rational, they want to understand about death as well. Okay, and like, okay, what is beyond death? So since human beings have higher intelligence, that has been given because they can find out what is the cause of sufferings. They can inquire about the purpose of life. See, a government official, Srila Prabhupada says, a government official is given, like in India, they are given this government housing society. They can stay in those houses. They enjoy better benefits. Why? Because they are working on behalf of that government. Right? Same thing might be true in other countries also, right? In US also it's true, in Bangladesh also it's true. So they are given those special facilities because they work on behalf of the government. Okay, they have been assigned some responsibilities by the government. So similarly, human beings have been given this higher intelligence so that they can find out what is the cause of sufferings, what is the purpose of life, and to harmonize our life with God and nature. Think about it, like, okay, will an animal think about what is the purpose of life? What is the cause of their suffering? What is the, I mean, how can I harmonize my life with God and nature? How can I attain eternal happiness? But these are meant for human beings. So now, if now in this case, we have a choice. And what is that choice? The choice is, as a human being, if we make an inquiry, okay, what is my purpose? How can I get out of this suffering? Okay, how can I put an end to all these sufferings? Then in that case, we get promoted to a higher life. Okay, which is what our sadhu guru shastra are teaching us. We get promoted to a higher life. Okay, but let's say if we don't make an inquiry, then what happens? So in this promotion to this higher life, we get connected to a guru because we need to get guidance, right? Like, okay, if we are just on our own, then will something happen? Nothing will happen. But if we make no inquiry, then what happens? Then we are demoted to lower forms. We have no idea. Enjoy life king size. But where are you going? You have no idea where you are going. Right? Would you agree? So that is how most people are in this stage actually. They have no idea actually where they are headed towards. It's like having a nice car, full tank, there is fuel. Okay, all the tires are nice, shock absorber is nice, everything is nice, but you don't know where you're headed towards. Think about it. Like if you meet, like if you are going on a flight, you just land upon someone. Hello, sir, where are you going? I don't know. What? You're sitting in this flight, you don't know where you're going. I mean, where is your final destination? I don't know. You are sitting in a train, you ask someone like where you're going. Okay, oh, I don't know. Okay, where are you coming from? I don't know. Okay, then what are you doing here? I don't know. It's useless. So one who makes no inquiry, they are demoted to lower forms like animals. Very unfortunate. And the most unfortunate thing is most people, they do not know. So human being can develop the reasoning power to ask the following questions. They can ask, why am I suffering? Where do I go after this life? Right? I mean, how many of us feel that okay, we need a better destination, not just in this life, but like okay, beyond this life also we need a better destination. Okay, I want to ask one thing. Like, okay, so let's say we are in a situation. Like, okay, how many of you experience suffering in this lifetime? Is there anyone who has not experienced suffering? They can raise their hands. Okay, so in that case, think about it. If you land in another body after this next life, with a exponentially higher number of sufferings. How many of you want to get there? Let me ask it otherwise. How many of you don't want to get there? Right? We don't want to get to a place where there is so much innumerable sufferings. So that is why it is it is very and like not everyone, like most of us do not remember our past lives. But in this life also, I have come across people who remember their past lives. Worst case scenario is if you remember, oh, last life I had such a good chance. I did not follow Krishna consciousness, and now I'm in this deadly situation. Make sure, Prabhu, see, remember, like, okay, even being here to going where you are, you feel the difference, right? Being in a being in the association of devotees and not being in the association of devotees, how difficult it is, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
So think about it. If only in this lifetime, if we can get this experience, what is it that if we get into a different body, different situation altogether, just by changing the surroundings, how it changes? Like, think about it. Like, okay, if a tree, we put water into tree, right? Now that same tree, like Tulsi Maya is there, or any other tree, banyan tree, or any other tree, you take a mango tree. In India, it grows nicely. Just put that mango tree in Michigan. In India, like it may give 1,000 mangoes in a season. But if you bring it in Michigan, winter comes, like all the leaves will fall down. It will not grow only next time. It would not even forget about getting to the fruit state. It would not even grow to a tree. It will remain a plant only. And then it will die there because the environment is not good. Many people, have you heard about this thing? I'm in a toxic environment. Say this, right? Right? I'm in a very toxic environment. So, so the thing is, if we have to question, like, okay, why am I suffering? Where do I go after this? So, having asked this question, okay, so let's go into this. What are the kind of problems that people face? So many people are challenged with, like, okay, oh, I'm having the problem. Okay, what is the problem in your life? Someone may say, okay, it's how I look, or I don't have a job, family problem. Someone may say, okay, I don't have a girlfriend. Someone may say, okay, I failed the exam. Another may say, oh, I'm not handsome. People don't look at me. And someone else may say, I don't have any money. Okay, with all these problems. So now question is, real are these real problems? So someone may ask, like, okay, so what is this real problem? The real problem means that problem which is common to everyone, that which no one wants, but no one can avoid also. So what are those problems? Which are real problems, which will come to everyone, no matter whatever. You could be anyone, but it will come to you. See, if you look at this one, the previous one, these problems may not be everyone's problem. Okay, Amit Prabhu may have one problem, Param Prabhu may have another problem, Nandini Pira Mataji may have a different problem, Lokaman Krishna Prabhu may have a different problem, Meksham Prabhu may have a different problem, I may have a different problem, Ashok Keshava Chandra Prabhu may have a different problem altogether. Right? But something which is common for all is, and no one wants it, but no one can avoid it. So, what are those? And those are, we have to understand, those are birth, old age, disease, and death. Now, let me ask you, how many of you want disease? Prabhu, I have no, it's been a long time, I have not had diseases. Why is it not happening to me? Why everyone around me only gets it? No one says like that. I'm waiting for death. When will that happen? But no, no one says like that. Old age, no one wants it. And birth, we'll talk about it, how it happens. So, Krishna says that Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam in 13th chapter, one who can perceive birth, death, old age, and disease are real problems is in knowledge. that person is in knowledge who can understand that these are the real problems. In Krishna's eyes, that person is knowledgeable. So we like, how many of you have realized that, okay, see, we may have not died a death, okay, Lokamon Krishna Prabhu and Ashok Keshab Charan Prabhu can vouch to the old age, right? Like how old age experiences. I may talk about old age, but I may have not realized it. Okay, we all may have some experience of disease. Okay, we may have experience of birth, but we may not remember it. So let's look at what could be the situation of birth. So in case of birth, I want to show you a small video here, and let me make sure everyone is able to hear this. Let me know if it is audible. Is it audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, just watch it very, very carefully. Actually, you know what? I want to stop this and I want to play this one so that you can. Okay, can you see this? You have to just let me know if the sound is audible.
Yes, Prabhu, audible.
And when the body is the war, usable, then the body is finished, and the soul again enters another body. This is called as by Krishna. What is the next body you are going to get? You must have information.
Srimad Bhagavatam is explaining. This is birth.
actually in the middle of the workshop right now, sleeping. This is your first lesson, I'm sure.
Hare Krishna. So this is the situation of birth. And if you very carefully observed, it was said that for a fortunate soul, they are able to remember their 100 lifetimes and they are in grief. Okay, I am in this situation. And each of us have been there. And that is why this birth is a very, very painful exercise. One who goes into another mother's womb has to suffer through this terribly. Next one, what was the old age? Old age, as you can see, like, okay, we want to. Is there anyone who wants old age? There's no one who wants old age, but we land up there. We may want to remain young forever, but very soon we start growing old and our bodies become weak and frail. So our skin becomes wrinkled. That's how, like, okay, things changes very soon. Even if we, no matter whatever age we are, if we look at ourselves, we can understand that, okay, few years back we were much younger. Our at and the way it works is like, okay, initially when we are in the growth age, our capabilities increase, but then slowly there is one steady state that comes, and then things starts dwindling. When things starts dwindling, our bodily capability starts going down. So I can experience that in my um, in my body, that okay, yeah, there are things, okay, I used to have a better capacity earlier. Now I have a lower capacity. So it's a reality. That's how tooth are like sometimes we have the tooth falling down, and like, okay, there are artificial those tooth that comes in. Different types of diseases, like, okay, someone who is very healthy, you can take the sports stars also. Are there like, whether it's a sports star or a film actor, like, okay, um, one of the famous film actors, Vinod Khanna, like, okay, I remember, like, okay, from several years back, like, okay, he was a very famous actor, but then he had cancer actually. So when he was in his young age, he was in his prime youth, like, okay, he was a very, very handsome, young looking man, macho man, like, okay, but then in his old age, like, okay, disease has caught over him. And there are numerous such examples. So disease is something which is not avoidable. So we definitely want to remain healthy, but it is it is against our wish. We encounter various diseases. And then we come to death. So for death, if you see in Garud Puran, it is said that okay, that at the hour of when the hour of death approaches, then by chance a certain disease raises up its head. That is that is being said to Garuda, and the organs grow weak. Trouble starts showing their powers, as if all of a sudden millions of scorpions have stung the person. So the experience of death is compared to millions of scorpion biting the person. How many of us have gone bitten by scorpion? Has there been anyone bitten by scorpion? Or let me put it this way, anyone who has not been bitten by scorpion? Right? Neither did I experience that, but it could be a painful experience. So this one who can perceive this birth, death, old age, and disease as real problems is in knowledge, as I was mentioning earlier. That is what Krishna is saying. So apart from this four real problems, there are these threefold miseries which Amit Prabhu was trying to explain earlier. So what are those problems due to body and mind? So you can see headache, stress, depression, body pain, right? And depression could be like extreme depression is suicidal thoughts, problems due to other living entities. First one is adhyatmic, then second one is adibhautik. So it could be due to some insect bite or like a fight with someone, viral bacterial disease, cancer, right? Animal attack, theft, robbery, and then problem due to natural disasters, tsunami and other things. So all these three types of kleshas are there. So problems due to body and mind itself is like so many different type of things are there. There are so many suicides happening because of people getting so much mentally disturbed. And you can see heart attack. This is migraine. Okay, it's so many suicides, stress, all these different type of bodily things. And what to talk about, like, okay, problems due to other living entities. So there are robberies happening, like, okay, people coming and shaming other persons, like, okay, someone maybe beating, and what about animals, insect bites, different type of things are there. And then what to talk about Adi Devik. So we know, like, okay, there are so many hurricanes, like so many earthquakes that happen. In Florida, I was talking to someone who stays in Florida. They were saying that, okay, see, now our all infrastructure and, okay, scientifically we have so much improved. But whenever there is a hurricane or something comes up, then what is the do you know what is the plan for that? To What is the plan that happens? The plan is evacuate this place. Okay, if you got to know that there is a hurricane coming, just go ahead and evacuate. There is no other plan. Just flee from there. And like whenever there is this flood that comes, I have seen that there are so many cities that are washed away actually. So if there is flood continuing for a long time, then it will wipe off even the skyscraper buildings actually. It's like that. But if we look at the if we look at from a modern science perspective, then at least there are some advancement in medical science. There are some latest technologies that are there. Are they advancement? Yes. So there are so many solutions coming for the diseases. At one point of time, cancer was a problem. There are some solutions to cancer, but with this, newer and newer diseases are coming. We can see when the minutest, like a microorganism, can also put the global place into what to say, a global progress into a halt with coronavirus. So that way you can see like how things radically change in nature's law. And every time, like, man has tried to come up with, like, okay, some temporary solution. Oh, your hairs are aging, white hair, use hair dye. Oh, wrinkles, use facelift. You are having some pain, use painkiller. Then some you are having breathlessness, then use oxygen tube. So the thing is, like, okay, with all these things, if you see, these are all superficial patch-up solutions. They cannot really free us from the actual suffering. Means there is no permanent solution as such. So, in other words, like, if you see this with this science and technology, the old age cannot be stopped. The disease cannot be eradicated. The And we hardly have any understanding of life and death. So this so we are we do not have a permanent solution for anything. And what to talk about, where do we go after this life? So I will just briefly touch upon this point, and then we can go through this in our next session. But we have a material viewpoint that, okay, we are all made up of matter. That means matter means, like, okay, we have this, um, we have blood, we have water in, chemical composition. Generally, like, we do this CBC test, right? It says, okay, what is the hemoglobin, how much is the hemoglobin, how much is sodium, this, that. So body is analyzed in terms of matter. So that is how science looks at it. That, okay, oh, all the chemical composition is right. Okay, is it in the range? They will ask like that, right? So that's how science looks at it, that we are no more than a chemical bundle. But all this are finished at the time of death. So science is not able to understand, okay, oh, this was all going fine. Suddenly how this changed and how this that person die, right? But science does not have an answer to that. But in the spiritual point, like, okay, we are not just matter, we are not this material body of flesh and bones. We are actually spirit soul. And that spirit soul is encaged in a particular body. So we all have spirit soul. As you can see here, this light, that is all of these living entities have spirit soul. And this spirit soul does not die when material body stops to function. This is a very key thing, so that we understand that we are not this body. We are a spirit soul. Okay, we may be in this part of this body, and we can look at us like, okay, we were part of this body like when we were children also. We look different. Okay, we are now also part of this body. We are now different, and we will be in future also will look different. Okay, so but we are spirit soul, and ultimately what will happen? It says in Bhagavad Gita, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnanti naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani shamyati navani dehi. Which means, it is from Bhagavad Gita. We covered this verse actually, but I wanted to come back to this very importantly, because sometimes this foundation is very, very important. That it is saying that, okay, we are just soul, and our body is just like a t-shirt. So just like to cover the body we wear t-shirt, right? But every time we wear new t-shirt, are we wearing the same t-shirt daily? Same t-shirt like since we are born? No, we wear different clothes, right? So as a person puts on new dresses, giving up the old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving the old and useless ones. Okay, so this soul, the body is constantly changing. So similarly, the soul is transitioning. And as persons, this body becomes useless, the soul goes out from this and takes a new body, new dress. That's it, very simple. Then what happens to us at the time of death? So the soul leaves the gross body behind and is taken to another mother's womb based on the quality of desires stored in this subtle body at the time of death. So whatever desires we may have had, based on that, that soul will be positioned into another womb at the time of death. So if you look at this picture, what you will see is, see, the same person is moving from one vehicle to another, right? Imagine, like, okay, Meksham Prabhu or Amit Prabhu, you might have ridden bicycle in the childhood, right? Now you are driving car. Param Prabhu, have you ridden a bicycle or a
Yes,
scooter?
Prabhu. Yes,
And
Prabhu.
you must be driving car also.
Yes, Prabhu.
So similarly, we have had these experiences. So we are moving in different vehicles. So similarly, what is it? The soul, the soul also is going into different vehicle. That is how the soul is transitioning from one body to another. The soul leaves the gross body behind and is taken to another womb based on the quality of desires, whatever is stored in the body at the time of death, whatever is our last thought at the time of death, right, that will take us to the next body. So that's how the spirit soul moves from one body to another. So, and on what basis is the soul awarded the next body? It is, Krishna is saying, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajate ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tava bhava bhavitah. Krishna is saying, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Means whatever is the last thought, whatever is that state, like, okay, at the time of quitting the body, that state only will get without fail. That means there is no, don't have any doubt basically. So so this is one example that is given, that there are two things. One is whatever desire we had, and second is whatever our karma is. These are the two things which decides, okay, where exactly we are heading towards, what kind of body we are taking. See, it is so, I mean, Krishna is making it so absolutely clear actually how we are going to go into the next body. And we'll talk a little bit about law of karma and then we'll stop here. So Krishna is saying that we know from the science, like, okay, as you sow, so shall you reap. Like, okay, this Newton's law is coming from Bhagavad Gita itself. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So this is the third law of motion. That is the law of karma. And how does this reaction work? So sometimes there are immediate reaction. You go and slap someone, you don't have to do anything. The other slap is just coming. Okay, that's how it works. Now, if someone is smoking, they know that. I mean, they whether they accept it or not. I had the I personally got a chance to see such people. Like, when I was there, like for my father's treatment in Bangalore, I saw people. I mean, this was a young person, young in the sense, like, okay, he's in his late 40s or maybe just 50. Okay, this person was an alcoholic and he was a smoker. As a result of that, what happened is, like, okay, he got this oral cancer, and he did not have this portion of the this portion of the mouth itself. It was all open actually. Most of the parts were open. It was unseeable. It looks like so gross, but I was just imagining what kind of trouble this person is going through. And I thought, like, okay, how, I mean, I asked the person's relative, how did he end up being like this? And they said, like, okay, he's an alcoholic and this smoker. He was a constant alcoholic and smoker. Then, then I asked, like, that whoever the relative, I said, does he realize that? Then the relative says, now he has no choice. He's unable to eat anything. I mean, imagine, like, okay, now if we are unable, see, we all need good food, right? Okay, we relish that having good food. If a person is unable to eat anything, what is the life? So, but people don't realize that. Then there is a delayed response. See, delayed response is you plant a tree, apple tree. Will the apple come immediately? The seed is sown, but it'll take some time for the apple to come out. So sometimes our karma is like, okay, we might think like, okay, why is this? Why does good thing happen to bad people and bad thing happens to good people? Wait a minute. Give it some time. Then they will realize this. Okay, this they may have sown some seed, it has not fructified, but when it fructifies, then it will be clearly visible. So in human life, we have developed intelligence, okay, to discriminate and lead responsible lives. Now we could lead responsible lives, or we may not choose to live responsible life. One, if one engages in sinful activities, then, and what kind of sinful activities? These are the things which are considered sinful. These four pillars of sinful, right? That is, these are very sinful, grossly sinful, and these are the qualities which land a person into hellish planets. What are those? Meat eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex. Very dangerous. And but if we open our hearts to obey God's laws, Krishna's laws, following the principles of austerity, then sacrifice, like, okay, austerity is like, okay, um, it is satyam, saucham, daya, and tapas. So basically austerity is like, okay, uh, your tapasya, and your tapasya is by doing some sadhana and sacrifice. Okay, sacrifice is like, okay, we could be sacrificing our time, we could be sacrificing our energy, and we, if we cultivate knowledge about like, okay, what we are supposed to do, and that we also get by associating with saintly people. When we do that, what happens is our life takes a different turn altogether. Some of us, rather all of us, have experienced that. That in every situation, if we are turning to the association, good association, trying to inculcate this knowledge in our life, then our life changes for permanently. So if we take to this God's law, then what will happen is we can attain the supreme destination. That means no birth, no old age, no disease, and no death. In other words, obviously, if no birth is there, then those three problems that Amit Prabhu was telling, that will not be there only. So basically, permanent solution. We want permanent job. We want a permanent nice house, right? We want a permanent retirement package, but we cannot have a permanent eternal life. That can only happen in the spiritual world. We want permanent bliss. That cannot happen in this material world. So, which is why it is very, very important to open our heart to obey God's laws, having the right association. See, if someone is not in right association, what will happen is like, okay, they may not know also what is the right thing to do, what is not right thing to do. They may struggle, but they may still not know what is right and what is wrong. Then reading books, Prabhupada books, these are spiritual books. These are not these are not like material books. And then that is A for association, B for books, C for chanting, and D for diet. And there is E for engagement, having seva. So if when we do the chanting, by chanting what we are doing, we are purifying our heart. And how do we get the taste for chanting? When we come in the association of the saintly people, and we hear what Srila Prabhupada is saying. And when we go and read these books, what happens? Sometimes things may be very fast in hearing, but when we read, right, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we can understand how our lives gets transformed. D for diet. This is called prasad. Prasad means mercy. This diet, if we offer to Krishna, then it is full of blessings. And engagement is seva. When we serve Lord, right, or when we serve the pure devotees of the Lord, or when we serve those who are serving the pure devotees of the Lord, just by doing that, what happens is we are serving the Guru Parampara, and through that we are serving Lord by following instructions, by or by our own like our own also. If we get inclination towards doing some seva, when we start doing that seva for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, then what happens is we can feel that relationship with Krishna. Service gives us relationship with Krishna, and serving can be reading books also. But when we are actively engaging in Srila Prabhupada's some service, like let's say distributing books to others, or let's say in this case we have the tribal care initiative, like what I'm just sharing what we are all familiar with. There are so many such initiatives, like okay, uh, there is this TOVP coming up. So like okay, in whatever capacity, like okay, we if we have some capacity, if we come forward, like okay, if we do that seva, like okay, we may not understand in a subtle things, but if we are praying that okay, oh, oh Guru Maharaj, oh Srila Prabhupada, please be pleased with this. Oh Vaishnav, okay, please be pleased with this. Then just by making our endeavors, we will be constantly be pleasing them. So we have to just somehow or other make a plan by which like we are able to constantly please Guru and Krishna. And that is the most important thing, crucial thing in bhakti. So with that, I will stop here. I'll not go more into this detail, but I just thought of like, okay, sharing this primarily. I know we covered this earlier also, but I wanted to come back and cover this mainly because sometimes what happens is like okay, that which has been covered long back, like okay, maybe forgotten. And when we go back and hear that again, we may feel that, okay, oh, this is so important. I may have not heard it rightly last time. And if it is knocking us like that, then that is a good sign actually, because that way we may have missed out some details earlier, and when we understand it next time, then in that case we may have developed a taste somewhat to hear attentively. And just by attentively hearing, see, like we may experience sometimes when we are in a spiritual path, we may have not been attentive earlier, but slowly we can see that, okay, we are becoming attentive. Okay, we are becoming to the attentive to the needs of Guru and Krishna. We are trying to see that, okay, how we can serve, how we can please. If that is happening in our life, that means we have to understand that we are trying to progress. By Guru Krishna's mercy, we are progressing. We may not be in the perfect stage, but even, it is important to know that we are in the right trend. If we don't know the trend, and if we are like in a dark, then we should take guidance. We should ask others that, okay, can you tell me, like, okay, whether I'm progressing or not? Like, we should ask this question. If we live in our own silos and we don't we think that, okay, we'll come in the public setting and then we'll not talk to anyone else after that, then in that case what will happen? We may uh, we may be in our own well, but we may not know which direction we are progressing. Make sense? I know all of you may be doing it, but I'm just saying this in general, okay? Uh, so we should constantly seek guidance, and we should see that, okay, where we stand. We should see where exactly we are challenged, so that we are able to come out. Like, okay, we don't want to be at a point that, okay, last moment of the life we think that, oh, I knew everything, but I really wasted. Then it's then whose problem is it? We will be only in problem. Again, next life, unfortunately, if we remember our past 100 lives and if we think, oh, last life I was so close, but this life I'm so far off, then it would be a pathetic experience right from the very beginning. And you know what? Krishna is very mischievous. If he wants, he can give us that also. Hare Krishna. So, having said that, we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. This Bhagavad Gita is so powerful. Okay, if we really understand this in depth, it is so incredibly strength giving at every point of time. So only thing is we have to understand it rightly, because if we just read like that, sometimes we may not understand. So that is why it is very important not just to come and hear. See, like, if I am the only one speaking and if you are only hearing, then it is okay, it is not bad. But what is better than that is, if you feel while hearing, if you feel that, okay, I'm able to connect with this point, maybe I have a realization in that, I want you to share that. You may have something better than me. So uh, open up your heart to share. Like, okay, let's say you find something in relation to whatever we are discussing, then in that case, if you share, that will be helpful. If you think that, okay, I am challenged in this place, if you think that is something that, okay, it can be spoken in the public forum, then you can share. If you think that is something that is to be spoken privately, then yeah, do that privately. But most important thing is when we come and hear, right? It is our scripture says, श्रद्धा शब्दे विश्वास कोइले. Okay, I'm not able to remember this verse, but it says, I'm able to remember the second line, but I'm not able to remember the first line completely. But it says, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, it defines what is the Shraddha. Shraddha means, if one, when he comes to hear, right, uh, at that time, if they have the faith in hearing from a sadhu, if they understand that just by doing Krishna consciousness, my life will be perfect. Okay, if I engage in Krishna conscious activities, my life will be most perfect. This is the definition of Shraddha. If someone thinks that, okay, I'll come to this session, let me take whatever is good for me, whatever is doable for me, and then I'll go ahead. then it is better than not doing, but it's not the best actually. I mean, and we could be there, and that is fine. There is no problem with that. But sometimes we feel, right, like, okay, if I have to take only, then why not take the best? Why should I compromise on, like, okay, something less than best? So we should know where we are at, and if we are struggling at one place, then we should take guidance. I mean, we should not try to radically do something which will create a disaster somewhere. Hare Krishna. Having spoken so much, please forgive me for speaking extra time. हरे कृष्ण श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. So I want to ask, like, does anyone have any question or any comments? Amit Prabhu, you had your hand raised. Okay, let us do one thing. Let us first hear from Lokomohan Krishna Prabhu, and then I'll come to you. Yes, Lokomohan Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, I just wanted to share my feeling here. The earlier also, you might have discussed all these things and we have listened also. But I feel that today's session was really very beautiful, very amazing. And it is just like a science student, theory and practical together. And if we can really absorb it and follow to the best possible extent, our life will be definitely better than what stage we are today.
Hare Krishna. Yes, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and these slides are made by His Grace Radhesham Prabhu actually. So all glories to His Grace Radhesham Prabhu. He is most exemplary. He is a very, very senior devotee, very blessed by the entire Guru Parampara, very, very advanced. And he was just here 2 days back, myself and Amit Prabhu. We had been there, just even having a brief darshan of Radhesham Prabhu. I was telling Amit Prabhu after that, when I was going, I was a discharge battery after the whole day of work. And after hearing from Radhesham Prabhu, I was like, okay, like this. So, thank you, Lokaman Krishna Prabhu, for your inspiration. But this is all the glories of our most amazing Guru Parampara. Yes, Amit Prabhu, I'll come
I
back
have
to
a
you,
question
Lokaman.
like this.
Huh? You had
Bro, I have a question like it. Maybe it's a silly question, bro, but
no question is
I'm
silly.
asking you. So suppose someone who did not commit any crime, I mean, any sinful activity throughout his life, and but he did not take any shelter of God also. So, what will
That
be
person
his
did not
next step?
take. That person did not take any shelter of God also.
Yeah. So after his death, what will be his next life? I mean, in which body he will go? I mean, you said like a soul's next destination depends on his karma and the last moment thinking. So he did commit. I mean, he did not commit any sinful activities throughout his life. So what will be his next destination?
So um, they will get a destination as per their karma, as per their last thought. Because if they are not performing any devotional activity, what will happen is whatever during their life, whatever thing that they are attached to the most, that is the picture that will come at the end of their life. Because at the end of the life, in few seconds itself, like, okay, the entire life goes in as fast forward. And out of this, like, okay, the picture that a person is most attached to, that picture will come forward. It is like, the reel goes like this. Many times you have seen. So that reel will go very fast, and suddenly one picture will come. And that, like, okay, one person, as soon as that person thinks about that, their mind stops, and that is the time that they quit the body. So they quit the body, they take birth in of whatever they thought, And in that lifetime, in that life, they are carrying all their past karmas, right? They will have those karmas applicable there. It is just like that. And as you were speaking, actually, I brought up Bhagavatam, and I was reading this verse 2 days back, actually. It says in the first canto, second chapter of Bhagavatam, text 8, Dharma swanishtita pumsam vishwaksena kathasu yah notpadyet yati yadi ratim shrama eva hi kevalam. श्रम एव ही केवलम, वो केवल श्रम ही कर रहा है. It means here the translation Srila Prabhupada is saying the occupational activity a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of Godhead. Okay, so if they have not developed that attraction towards personality of Godhead, why it is said useless? Because they may not move towards their ultimate destination. Okay, they may have birth and death, they may rotate in that cycle of birth and death, but if they are not making a way towards going out, right, is it worth it? Because this material world, why it is said like that is because this material world is compared to a hospital. One person may have a broken leg, one person may be blind in one eye, another person may be not having problem hearing. It is not literally like that. Means one person have one type of problem, another person another type of problem. One person may have a broken hand. Okay, everyone is having different type of problem, right? But as soon as they're in this material world, they are like that. And what does a person do? Does any person go to a hospital to say, okay, nice 5-star setting, let me stay here forever? Have you seen anyone like that? No one goes to hospital like that, right? Everyone thinks, okay, how do I get out of this hospital? I don't like hospital. However best setting you give, no one wants hospital. So an intelligent person is, how do I get out of this person? How do I get out of this? I know one devotee, what it is was he had kidney stone. When he went to the doctor, right? The doctor said, oh, you have kidney stone. In US only, he was told, you have kidney stone. Let's get you operated. And then he saw that, okay, they are making chart on this, that, on getting himself operated. He said, oh, wait. Can you put me one injection where at least like the current pain can be subsided? Then I'll come back. In 2, 3 days, I'll come back. You can do the operation after that. Then they said, initially they said, no. They said, see, actually, I really want to go, like 2 days, I have very important critical work, like I have to take care of that. Just put me 2 days, you give me some medication. They gave him 2, 3 days some medication to subside them. He thought, I am not going back to that. I know it can be subsided by homeopathy. I don't want surgery.
So
So,
I have another question. Like, yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
if someone died in a mother's home, then
If someone dies in mother's home,
uh,
yeah, so sometimes, like, okay, some people have that uh, have that karma that okay, they may die in mother's womb. Um, it could be there. There are different scenarios in if someone is in bhakti and if someone is dying in mother's womb. It could be that okay, they had that much karma only to be in the mother's womb and then go back to Godhead. And even in the mother's womb, one person has a consciousness. Okay, they are able to think at that time. We may not remember it. See, think about it. Can you remember what you thought when you were 3 years old, 6 years old, 9 years old? Most of the things we will not remember. In this life only we will not remember. And when we are in the mother's womb, we will not remember that. Okay, but we were all thinking. The soul gets consciousness in fifth month.
mm,
So I hope that helps. Hare Krishna. Yes. Lokaman Krishna, you wanted to share something else?
I just when you were telling about the association, I was remembering my mother when I was 6, 7 years old. She was to tell me that if in a basket there are many mangoes and few of those has bad and rotten, there is every chance is that few mango will spoil all other good mangoes.
Yes.
Similarly, my pet name was Lalu. Lalu, you should be very careful with the association what we'll have. Mix with the good peoples, then you will be good. So she was to tell me when I was 6 and 7 years old.
Yes. This is a very, very important teaching. And so, for that, Prabhu, what you should do is, because your mother has given you this teaching, because you took this sincerely, you should always pray to Guru and Krishna to deliver your mother. See, the one important thing what we get, and I want everyone to hear this very critically important thing. How many of you are still listening? Maybe you can raise your hands just to make sure that okay, I know that okay, how many of you are still with me? So this point is most crucial. That is, how many of us, I want to ask one more thing. How many of us love our parents? How many of us love our grandparents? You can raise your hand. If you genuinely love your parents, your grandparents, then the greatest service that you can do is by becoming a pure devotee. Is by becoming a pure devotee. We have to daily chant, we have to pray that, okay, oh Krishna, please make me pure devotee. Okay, we could be any part of the world. Okay, I really want to become a pure devotee because as soon as one becomes a pure devotee, like when they say, right, like, okay, MX Gold card tire benefits. A pure devotee's benefits are not only that person, but 14 generations will go back to Godhead. This is Narsimdev's words actually. Think about it. Like, okay, you go back to Godhead, and then like, okay, rest are all in hell. Haribol, bachao! But if one becomes a pure devotee, and what the endeavor that we can do is always we should pray for whoever in our family are there, whoever are our friends, whoever are our enemies. Why not? We can only become pure when we don't care who our friends or enemies are. We should, irrespective, pray for everyone. So, and most important thing is we should not consider anyone as our enemy. People may consider us as their enemy, but a devotee doesn't consider anyone as his enemy. A devotee is always, the devotee may not associate with everyone, but the devotee does not consider everyone as enemy. The devotee wants higher association always. And just by having higher association, because it is very, very important, as earlier Meksham Prabhu I was telling Meksham Prabhu, if one's environment is changed, just by change of an environment, the um, tenacity to perform bhakti changes actually. And I have personally experienced this. Like, okay, at one point of time, I was um, when I was not having any association. Okay, and I can relate with Meksham Prabhu. So when my wife's treatment was going on, I was absolutely having no association because I did not have any time to get association also. So what I would do is like, okay, my I would just hear my Guru Maharaj's like okay, short clips every day. Okay, 10 minutes. That 10 minutes somehow or other I'll hear. Okay, because I knew that okay, if I don't hear this, like, okay, there's some problem in me. I was fanatic about hearing. Because if we are not hearing, if Guru Vani is not going, if Acharya Vani is not going, if Srila Prabhupada's Vani is not going, if there should be no day in our life when we are not hearing, that if there is a day that is going in our life, see, think about it. Are there any days in our life? How many of you would like are or how many of you would not like that there are days in our life when we are not having food. Okay, leave about Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi. Other than that, you can tell how many of you like days when you don't get any food, or don't like days when you don't get any food. None of us like that. So, similarly, okay, let me ask seriously. You all are in my category only, right? I think, like, okay, you might say, like, Hare Prabhu, what, man? I can fast for 10 days. So, so if we were like that, then think about it. This hearing is our spiritual food. We should hear. And when we consistently hear, right, what will happen is we will develop a connection with hearing. And we will see that whatever events in our life are happening, we are hearing same context. And I heard one thing from my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami. He says, like, okay, he always says this, like, okay, in many lectures, he says, um, I'm forgetting that phrase, that is, if you seek, you will find. Like, you are seeking for something, right? Then you will find that. If you are, even if you are going through some problems, if you are hearing Guru Vani, you are hearing Acharya Vani, through that message itself, there is something out there which will be there for you actually. As soon as you pick that, right, you will get immense strength through that. So, this is most crucial. And the strength that it gives, right? Even if someone is suffering in disease, the doctor cannot give strength with the medicine what the Acharya Vani will do to our soul. Because as soon as the soul is uplifted, your mind will be uplifted, and with your mind, no matter whatever condition of your body would be there, but you will get going actually. And a very the highest example that I have seen in my this life is His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj. His body is given up. But look at the power of his soul actually. How many of you have subscribed to his app actually? How many of you have his app? No one you have his app. If you read his app, right, he daily says that, okay, what he's doing, like when he's doing that. He's reading, he's chanting, he's attending meetings, he's meeting disciples. If you see, and then after that, he also publishes that, okay, there are so many extra rounds I have done. It is not that, okay, this app is Jayapataka Swami. If you go to Android or Apple, then you will get that Nandini Premaji. So it is so inspiring because this the Acharya is not sharing like I would share in the mentality. Oh, I did 2 rounds. I did 16 rounds. I did two more extra rounds, 4 rounds. No, not like that. But he's teaching us by his example. In his this condition also, if he can do that much, I mean, obviously, like we can also make an endeavor. We may not be like him, we cannot imitate him, but we can make an endeavor. So that's what I wanted to share. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Lokumon Krishna Prabhu. Anyone has any other comments or questions? Otherwise, we can end it here.
Prabhuji, Param, yes.
Hare Krishna
I,
Prabhu.
I just want to say, when you talk about Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, I was reading one day about him wherein he was critically not well, and the disciples wanted him to take rest, but he said, no, I want to go and take the classes. And they were shocked. He is not well, and doctors has said him to rest, but he said, no, I want to go and take class on. So they were like, not sure what to do because they cannot disobey him. and they cannot, and they have to listen to the doctors also. So yeah, when you read about him and listen about him, like it's really shocking with the kind of pain he is in and all those things, but still he focuses on teaching and spreading Krishna consciousness. Just
Yes.
wanted to share that.
No, no, thank you for sharing. And this is exactly what I want, like, okay, where our sessions transform, like, okay, into he hearing and sharing. So since you mentioned this, I will tell everyone that, okay, if you can, as a homework, what you can do is you can search for those lectures where Mahavara Prabhu, His Grace Mahavara Prabhu, shares about His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. So just search on YouTube with Mahavara Prabhu, you will see there are 3 4 talks given by His Grace Mahavara Prabhu. He's Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj's personal servant, and he has such deep realizations he shares because he is seeing Guru Maharaj like every moment. So when you hear 3 4 lectures of Mahavara Prabhu, right, you will feel as if you can experience His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj because he's living constantly with him. And I will share 2 examples like that, which I personally had experience. One is His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. Like he was when he was in Dallas in 2023. At that time, he was diagnosed with skin cancer, and because of this, he had to take radiation. Now, this radiation therapy is very draining, especially he has a very anyway his health was in crisis, but in addition to that, radiation could be extremely draining. And every day he was very drained out, but he would still give the classes. It was a 1 hour drive from the place that he was staying. Then he would have the radiation, come back in the afternoon. He was like completely drained out actually because of this. And in the evening, just so that like, okay, he wanted like, okay to uh, for others to get benefited. So for the purpose of serving the devotees, he would still come and give the classes. And he was having some side effects also with that. But one particular day, it so happened that he was leaving from Dallas, and he was going to take the radiation, go directly from there to Austin, which is 3 hours from there. Devotees told him that, okay, his servants told him that don't go from here, Maharaj. Okay, it will be too much on your body to drive and go. But then he said, no, 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 I really want to go because those devotees with so much love, they have invited me. So he had the radiation, and all and some devotees of Dallas, they reached the radiation center itself. So I was also one of them. Din Pawan Gaurav Prabhu also there. Okay, Shama Karunamai Mataji was also there. There Mohan was also there. So we all were there, and as we were standing there, like okay, when Maharaj came out, seeing everyone there, he did not express even that okay, his tiredness or this fatigue and this drained out. We all were singing Jai Pataka, Vale Dakore. And when he heard this, right, with so much love that we were singing to encourage us, he also, like, he was unable to stand also, but he was expressing as if he was dancing there. Now, it is, even if, like, sometimes when I remember those moments, right, it makes me very emotional. Like, okay, that how does he do all these things when his body is giving up? It is inconceivable. He runs on energy which is inconceivable. So that's the thing. I said I'll tell two, but I forgot what was the other thing I was going to say. So we'll conclude here. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Guru Gauranga ki jai, Gauranga Koti Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. If you also desire, then maybe you can unmute and say Hari Bol.
हरी
Hari
बोल
Bol.
आनंद विलास प्रभु की
Haribo.
जय
Jai.
हरी
Jai.
बोल
Hare Krishna.
हरी बोल
Prabhupada ki jai.
जय